Forgot how cool that opening was. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Moon. I am your host, Rosie O'Donnell, and I am here with Selena and
Hello.
Gerald, TarotStache. Um, Ramon will hopefully be joining us soon. There are connection issues. Moonscara. Yes, you have reached the channel where we talk about all things spiritual. Tonight, we are letting Gerald guide us on an interview process for our decks. But
Oh,
before
it's
we do
even
that,
it's even better than that, Bobby. This is tarot matchmaking. It's just
Tarot
not an
match.
interview process. It's matchmaking.
Ah,
Everybody
okay.
wants some matchmaking.
Ooh,
I
say it
love
again.
that.
Yeah.
I got 2 pages
Uh,
of notes, kids.
oh,
We're ready.
geez.
We're ready.
Let's say hi to a few people. We've got Miss Tarot D.
Hello, mi madrina.
I love this woman.
Hmm. Actually, it's
Maru. Maru sent me the coolest deck. I can't remember what it's called. Hold on.
She's a sweetheart.
Oh, she is. I have the picture of it because I knew I was going to forget what it was called. Ah, here it
Sure,
is.
Madhu can tell you in the chat.
Yeah, she could. Tarot de el Dios de los Tres.
Oh.
That's a mouthful. Uh, yes, we are simulcasting on several channels.
Oh,
Maru,
on all
thank you
4
so much for
channels?
that deck. That I don't know if Ramon set it up, but I think so. This deck is very Ed Hardy-ish. If you like Ed Hardy like I do,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much, my love. You rock. And then we've got Janet with us. Hey, Jan.
Hey, Janet.
What's your best friend?
Hello, Jess.
Janet, go Janet. Linda de Gonzalez.
Oh, hi, Linda.
I love to watch Gerald and Linda together.
I know they're like 2 peas in a pod.
Well, let me tell you, there are 2 great shows, Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to take a moment to entice people. Monday's show is talking about brainstorming. It's a creativity conversation with Diana Oil Painter. And then on Tuesday, Linda and I are doing a laugh and learn about starting your own YouTube channel, tips and tricks that we've learned.
Nice.
So
Awesome. I can't wait to hear that. I love watching you guys. You crack me the heck
Yeah.
up.
Hey,
That's not the word I
Roman.
was going to use, but Roman is here. Sonia, what up,
Hello.
Bobo? Venus, Suzanne, Faye at the forest, Donna Marie. Hey, I haven't seen you in a bit, boo. Julie. Julie's
Hey,
gonna let me
Julie.
interview her on the 4th of August coming up. So that's gonna be awesome.
very nice.
I believe I said Suzanne. Um, and if I miss anybody, forgive me. Aura, what a great name. Aura Blue.
Oh, look at the doggy.
I know. I didn't see that till you said
So
it.
cute.
Brienne. Timmy. Anything that has the name Raven or the word Raven in the name, totally good with me. Ah, what's up, Jeff? I've been trying to get a hold of you. Luchita. Let's see. Gerald is here. What's up, you sexy beast?
I think the mods should be careful of that one.
Right. And Kendra. And look who our new name is. It is. Wait, chat jumped. Come back. Joa Melinda. I'm never going to get tired of saying that. Okay, so Gerald, what do you have for us tonight?
What type of matchmaking tricks or tips are you going to show us?
Well, you
Right.
know, I am thinking about, I do these deck casuals,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm doing one tomorrow about the D-Pick Tarot by Aquata du Jour. I think I can share this. Is this too much promotion? I think I can share this. There's the deck. Oop, and Ramon is here.
Hey,
Fashionably late as
There's
well.
the there's
finally we get to see you.
There-
Hello, my brother.
finally.
We've missed you.
Fear not, I'm here.
Okay,
Thank
Joe,
you.
you're
I'm glad to be
again.
back.
It's so good to
I had
have
some
you back.
connection
Good to
issues,
see your
but
face
here I am.
on a live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi,
welcome
Gerald.
back.
Hi, Ramon. Welcome back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Yeah, can you hear us,
Yes, I
bro?
can hear you. Sort of like I don't know, like cut off a
Like
little
an
bit. I
echo?
don't know if it's me or.
It's not
Okay.
me.
It's not. It's
the
not.
deck.
It's not me. It's the deck.
Oh, can you not hear us?
Oh, Bobby
It's-
disappeared.
Uh-oh.
There's only room for 3 tonight, I guess. It started with 3.
disappeared.
Oh,
It's retrograde people. This is what's gonna happen. Are y'all good? Oh.
Well, hi,
Well-
Selena.
Hi, Gerald. It's just me and you.
We can do this.
Well, since we're having this moment of craziness, I'm going to take this opportunity to switch microphones.
And I'm going to say it's wonderful that everybody is here. Thank you for joining us. There are a lot of amazing shows on YouTube and things that you can do with your time. Thank you for sharing some of the space with us.
Yes.
Definitely.
was-
Thank you guys so much. I
Yes.
appreciate everyone's commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing. I mean, I truly appreciate you guys. So thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. And this just in, Selena will be a guest on a casual on my channel and we'll simulcast it. So be ready, kids.
Be ready. Keep an eye out for those live tags coming up.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea because if they miss it, they're going to be sad. But well, Ramon's here.
Welcome back, Ramon.
thank you.
Okay, you scared me for a second there. He's probably lagging. We are simulcasting on a lot of channels, you
All 4
guys.
channels.
Yeah, so there will probably be lag. But Gerald was explaining what's going down tonight, Ramon.
Thank you,
So-
Ramon.
Okay.
So what's going on is I do
Yeah,
these
my
deck
connection
checks.
doesn't seem to be good. I don't know.
There appears to be a bit of a lag. So I do these deck casuals where I look at a deck, I evaluate it, I have my own sheet of stuff that I consider. And when I was invited for this, I'm like going, let's make this a little bit more enjoyable. So we're doing tarot matchmaking. So the idea of this is think about, I don't know if anybody here has ever done online dating. I mean, I've done it. I don't know about anybody else. I'll be the only one to admit it.
I'm admitting, yes.
Hands up in the chat for people who have done online dating.
Yeah, hands up in the chat, everybody.
Yes.
Jess, Roman, Maru, I don't know.
Yeah. So
Can't.
what I was thinking about, this is a playful yet revealing questions that are designed to help you reflect on your ideal tarot deck. They blend the spirit of a dating profile prompts and the deck casual insights. And it's thoughtful for great conversations like this. And I've got each question has got a brief brief explanation about what I mean. There are set about you. We have first impressions matter, physical chemistry, courtship rituals, let's get visual,
Ooh.
and the final spark.
Oh, those are really good.
So, and I have questions on each of them. Let me ask those of you who are watching, I mean, do you know what it is that gets your interest in a deck? Because sometimes people do and sometimes people don't. So
I do.
Yeah.
I
for me too.
know exactly what I want in a deck. If it's too cheery, or if it has any witch with a pointy hat and striped socks, it is not for me. That's too gumball for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here he comes again.
For me, it has to be the aesthetic, and there's just something about it that calls to me. Like, I like the darker stuff. I like the darker decks. But I do have some that are cheery, that are happy and go lucky ones, but those are very far rare and few in my collection. I like the darker, like witchy, occultish, dark.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
What about you, Ramon?
Yes, I'm so lost. Can you repeat that question, please?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what you like about a deck before you start to looking for a new deck?
Well, like in general terms, I have to connect with it right away. Like I always say, I have to forget that it's a set of cards, and I have to feel that it's a window that I peek into something totally different.
I like that.
And yeah, it's true. I see it as 78 windows, not only with I mean tarot, but also Lenormand, oracles in general. I have a very wide range of, like, I don't know, aesthetics that I like. I like medieval style. I like futuristic, like everything in between. There are certain themes or topics that I don't connect with, but that's my personal choice. It's especially I like decks that have like a darker aesthetic towards
Sure.
it, like bones, skeletons. But that doesn't mean that I like 100% of all skeleton decks or bone decks.
Of course.
I appreciate the aesthetic of the artistry of the decks 100%. Yes. But in terms of like spiritual connection, I'm very picky with that.
Okay. So I have, as I said, I have this divided up into, I believe there's 6 sections. And the first section is about you. So if you're filling out an online dating profile, how would you describe your current tarot vibe? Is it mystical, romantic, practical, minimalist, eclectic, explorer, emotionally intuitive? What's your current energy?
Mystical.
Okay.
Current energy, if I had to reach for a deck right now, it would be Murder of Crows, kind of all over the place, kind of frantic.
Okay.
Black and white.
Okay.
What?
Bobby, you can put us all
Chris
on
Butler?
the screen if you want.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be asking you all questions. So we're doing the tarot matchmaking thing.
Bring it, Big Daddy. We ain't scared of you. Come on.
Yes, bring it on. Hi, Lexi.
You shouldn't be scared of me. Ramon, what is your current tarot vibe?
Mystical, definitely. I use tarot mostly for spiritual connection. So it's in my case, in general, it's very rare that I use a deck for psychological introspection. I have a few that I use in that sense, but in general sense, it's a tool for spiritual connection.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I use my decks for healing. Not only for connecting with the divine, but my sessions are to try to bring some sense of healing. And in order to do that, I will reach for the appropriate deck. I know that some decks are not right for some clients. That's why I'm surrounded literally by dozens of decks that I could reach for. Whoever happens to call or make an appointment with me, I'm prepared for them.
Right. I will also answer this. My current vibe happens to be very colorful. I want color and I want that variety of people within the deck. I need to see that variety that we have in the world. So
the Galactic Tarot has a variety in it. Do you like UFO stuff? I'm going to say yes because you were reaching back there.
Is it
that has a variety of people? Like
it's not the mystical Martians.
Colors and different like sizes and.
So.
Yeah, bigger's not always better.
Yeah, I don't have that one. Selena. So. Okay, so what kind of a relationship are you looking for with a deck right now? Are you looking for a long-term spiritual companion, a creative fling, or you're just here for the card stock? Be honest, your deck won't judge you.
Long-term for sure. If I'm going to buy something, I want it to stay in my collection forever.
Yes.
I have recently gifted decks. But normally I'm very selfish with my decks.
Sure. Ramón, what about you?
Who's Ramón? Hermano.
Yes, long term, but that doesn't mean. Oh, I'm gone.
No, you're here. We got you.
Yeah, definitely long term. I want it to be in my collection, but I work with certain decks during like a certain period of time. I connect with them. I don't know. It's the energy. It's stronger. Certain times of, I don't know, it could be weeks, months, whatever. But then it gets to a point that, I put it aside, let it breathe, and then I take another deck that I feel much more connected with. I wanted to keep it in my collection, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be working with it all the time, always. There are certain ones that I do that are like my horse work decks that I use all the time. There's other ones that are themes that, I connect in different levels.
Mm-hmm. So am I the only one who wants a fun fling that is just right now is just all sorts of passion and is going to light up the sky? It's going to light up the dark moon sky.
Well, that's the thing. That sounds fun, but I come from the space where I read for clients like you do, Gerald. I try not to purchase a deck unless it's going to stay in my collection. I did recently do a big tarot dump because I needed room on the walls. I was running out of space. So I did a purge, and I'm regretting some of the decks that I let go of. I'm but I very rarely will buy a deck just for the fun of it. The last time I did that was the True Black Tarot, and it's still my favorite deck. Well, one of.
Yeah. Well, and Timmy Raven said that he wants a deck into spanking.
I guess that's accurate. Sometimes I need a deck that's going to bitch slap me.
Well, and
or my client.
Yeah. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. And if you don't have a safe word, get one. Sorry. Look, Ramón is
my
sitting
safe word is.
So, all right. So, okay. The second thing is first impressions matter. So
you scared him off.
Well, did I or did Timmy with the
all that safe word talk?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the first impressions matter. Do you fall for a pretty box or look for inner substance first?
Pretty box.
Pretty box. I'm pretty shady like that.
Yeah. I'm Bane.
I'm a substance guy myself, actually. Yeah, that's why. Excuse me.
Nah.
Okay.
I mean, I am. I buy it for the box, but whether I keep it or not depends on how they act. Yeah, the substance of the deck. But yes, I'm going to buy it for the pretty box.
Part is what's pretty, the part that looks pretty and it's appealing. And then after that, if the substance just doesn't work out, if the guidebook stinks.
I'll give you a for instance. Here's two decks. One I have for substance, one I have for fun. You guess which one it is. This is a Rebel Oracle deck, and this is the Oracle of the Hecatean Path. One of these decks is for more serious work, but I actually do use both of them in professional readings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love that Rebel deck.
When I first started collecting tarot, there was no way to see online all of the images. There were no such thing as flip throughs.
Right.
So I delay purchasing a deck oftentimes until I could see it. If I couldn't see it, I wouldn't buy it. So.
And for those who don't do this, if you want to buy a tarot deck and aren't sure what it is, look online. Look on YouTube. Mm-hmm. One of us probably did a flip through of the deck you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm going to buy a deck, I'll look through, I'll search online and see who has it. And if it's someone I know, I'll watch it, like rewatch it to see if that's, like, for example, Cosmic. He has the best. And he's like, he really is like the hugest enabler ever.
Right? I've noticed that.
Like my Patrick Valenza decks, I bought because I saw them on Cosmic's YouTube.
Some decks I purchase just because of the artist. If I see either...
I do the same thing.
Either, what's her name, MJ Cullinan, or Chris Butler, I'm buying the deck regardless of what it is. And I'll probably I've never given up a deck by either of those artists before. Oh!
And Sasha Graham.
Sasha Graham, Corrado Roy. Oh, I realize I now have my favorites. Oh, I didn't think I did. Okay, moving on.
Okay. How much bling is too much bling?
Yeah, there's a fine line for me personally.
Yes.
I'm not all that, like, I'm not big on super duper. I mean, if it's gilding and it's sparkly, like a holographic, I love that, and I'll be happy with that. But if it's all over the card, I have a hard time with that.
Yes. I think for me, the bling has to serve a purpose and support the readings. If the bling makes the deck hard to shuffle, I'm not interested. But if the bling is part of the nuance about it, it's like, if someone has amazing hair and we're going out on a date, yeah, great. I don't mind that, but it has to work. It just can't be bling for bling's sake.
Correct. It has to have a purpose, the bling.
Yes.
But I mean, if it has the gilding, like that holographic gilding, and that's the only bling, I'm happy with that.
Yes.
But then those can be hard to shuffle because they hurt your hand sometimes. So that's another bad part about having that gilding is that it does like cuts into your hands when you're shuffling, and that hurts.
Mm-hmm. Linda's like saying like there's no such thing as too much bling. Great.
Yeah, there is. That's
I love it. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is. Well, because some of the decks try to throw a bunch of images on there just because they're pretty, and they really, for me, it takes away from it. Even the silly decks that I like are bare bones. The Marvel comic decks is one of the silliest decks I have, but it's bare bones. I don't like a lot of bullshit. The most active I get is Chris and MJ, those two artists. and I have to study those decks hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's
Okay, so let me get to the last section in the first impressions is what kind of guidebook experience do you crave? Are you in for the philosophical treatment, keywords only, poetic insights, or maybe no guidebook at all?
Selena, you want to go first, girl?
Yeah. So depending on the deck, I like the guidebook to give me a story of that specific character in that card because they're all different. You know, to me, they're all different. And I want to know what's happening with that character. I want to know why they are relevant to the deck, why they are wearing what they're wearing, where they're going on their journey. Like, I want to know all that stuff. So to me, that's important. But I also like buying theme decks, like this one, Under the Oak Tarot.
Joey just got that. She loves that.
Really? So
Yeah.
this one is very much but it's a low scarabeo, and they have, their decks are not really the best.
The card stock is kind of sucky.
Well, I mean, to me, they shuffle well, but like other decks, I can't think of another one, but they have to have like a story to them. I have to be able to relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with like a basic guidebook. Like, for example, Biblical Tarot has a super, super basic guidebook.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you buy the extended book, which is a whole different thing.
Yes. Yeah. So, Bobby, what kind of guidebook experience do you crave?
I need the full experience. I want the artist or the creator of the deck to tell me what their take on it is, because that shows me what their intent was as they were creating it. I do factor that in if possible. Like, I'm not going to dig out a deck. I also want, if possible, to have the astrology symbols, because I do read astrology. I don't need the symbols there, but it does help me to point it out to the client, saying, the energy of Pluto, this symbol right here, is in play. So there's big transformations or an emergence happening. I want them to have Kabbalah relations, the major arcana, the Aleph, Bet, Gimel, because that just adds another layer. So yeah, I want the full thing. That's why Heaven and Earth Tarot is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
I got Chris Butler using that deck now too.
Nice. I am similar to you, Selena, is I like to understand what's going on for the artist. That's an important factor for me. It informs me. It gives me a depth of understanding. Then I can connect into that energy and weave a story as I'm doing readings, which is a great deal of fun. And I am the kind of person, for those of you who know me, you know that if there's a choice of just the deck or a deck with a guidebook, I am always going to pick the deck and the guidebook. So, but yeah. Okay, so we're doing this. We've done About You. We've done First Impressions Matter. This is Tarot Matchmaking, everybody. So thinking about this, dating profile, physical chemistry. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, hold on one sec. Audra and anybody else watching, Ramon is having connection issues. Hopefully he can rejoin us, but it does happen. Sometimes there's a lot of bad storms happening around. Yeah, retrograde is another contributing factor. All right, back to Gerald.
So physical chemistry. Let's talk card stock. How do you want your deck to feel in your hands?
I know the exact answer to this, and I'm going first on this one, Selena.
Go ahead.
I like flexible decks, but matte decks. I do not like shiny decks. My favorite decks to use are the True Black. Oh, look, I pulled the Leo card there. This is one of my favorite ones. See how he's eating the has the little hat at the base.
Oh, I see that. That's cute.
Yeah. Or this is a new deck that I just got.
Yeah,
The
good one.
Dark Goddesses Oracle deck. The cardstock on both of these is matte. They're pared down, very simple. You could see when I hold them both up. I don't like a lot of background, and if possible, I do like it to be black so that I can pull images from the void, as I call it. If it's shiny, I don't like to use it. For some reason, it just is not me. Other than that, something
Okay.
that's easy to shuffle because I've got old man hands.
Okay. Selena, what about you? Because cardstock, do you want sturdy, buttery, slidey? Because the tactile part of tarot is real and meaningful.
Mhm.
So I actually don't mind glossy because they fan out really well and they
They
shuffle
do.
well. However, they don't picture well, and they don't do any good with lighting or showing on a video. But I still appreciate them because they do shuffle so easily for me. I have rheumatoid arthritis as well as lupus. So the weakness in hands is very real. And when I'm, my hands are in pain probably 75% of the day. So for me to shuffle, if it's a really thick
Every day I'm
cardstock,
shuffling.
if it's too thick, like some of them, I can't even shuffle them because they're too
Yeah.
thick. Or they're too stiff paper wise, they're too cardboardy. I don't like
That's another thing. If there is certain paper stock, it causes me problems. It dries my hands out. I've had this ongoing problem for a long time. Right here where I shuffle, this dries out. So I have to constantly buff it off or shave it or treat it in some way because I get calluses from shuffling so much.
So for me, like the Los Scarabeo decks are the easiest for me to shuffle because they're the perfect size. They're not too thick. And to me, they're a good quality because they don't hurt my hands.
Great.
They take more breaking in for me. They really do. But once they're in, they're good. I like mini decks. I've just got
Bobby. Did you just say it takes a long time to break them in?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the only 12-year-old in the room?
Okay, I get it.
It's a matchmaking
like this
dating
is a Los
profile.
Scarabeo, and it's like the perfect size.
Yes.
Some of them are way too thick, and it's like they don't fit properly in your hand to shuffle. So that's why for me they're my favorite.
That's great.
Like the Blue Angel decks, those shuffle nicely and they feel like butter.
Yes.
I just got my Santa Muerte mini deck in the mail today too, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Nice. I will be honest. I like it ribbed for my pleasure. I want a linen cardstock.
Ooh, I do like linen.
Linen.
I do like
You all
linen.
thought I was thinking something else.
I was.
I have no idea what you're talking.
Completely changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Linen is quite wonderful. I'm not a big fan of shiny decks. I think shiny decks for me are hard to shuffle, and then I'm not going to be able to use them online.
Yes.
And if I love a deck, I want to be able to use it online.
Well, I don't like the reflection that shiny decks have when I use them online either, holding them up. That's why the matte decks, I really, really appreciate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarot and Oracle says, yep, linen all the way.
You got it. So the second question under physical chemistry is, let's talk size.
Now you're in my realm.
Petite and portable, standard comfort, large and luxurious, irregularly shaped.
Selena?
I don't mind the minis. I think those are fine. The regular standard size, like this one, like the normal Los Scarabeo size, I'm completely love. The large ones, again, they don't fit properly in my hands, so I have a hard time with those. And I know people cut them down or do stuff to them. I can't do a bobbit on it. I can't do a Lorena bobbit on my
I was gonna say that.
Did you?
Yes,
Oh my God.
I was gonna say that.
I can't do that. And as much as I'm like tempted to do that, I just can't cut them down, or I still haven't edged a deck because I'm still iffy on edging it. Like, I don't know. You know?
I mean, people have watched me.
Any
I
regular
will.
ones, I don't mind. Like I have
Yes.
I mean, I have some round ones, and I have like the like
Oh,
the
Maru
Citadel deck.
likes
Yeah, like the
circles.
Citadel one, it has like an odd shape to it. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind the odd shape ones, irregularly shaped.
Mm-hmm.
I used to prefer the bigger the better. But I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm economizing, so I've also used to be a nail tech, and I have no problem doing a bobbit on my cards. This is my favorite Oracle deck. Well, one of the Dark Moon Astrology deck. It was too big for me to use, so Joey cut it down for me, and it is now perfect sized.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with the size of this new deck. It's becoming my favorite, and I haven't even used it. It shuffles like a tarot deck. It's matte cardstock. It's my favorite. I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Oh my God, I was gonna say big deck.
I do like the mini decks because I do events, and it allows me to go quicker.
Yeah, take more with you. You like to go quicker.
Yeah. I like to just get it over with. Well, if I'm doing an Oracle spread, it allows me to fit it on the table easier when I'm at events, or if I'm doing a 22 card spread for somebody who wants a longer session, I could use this deck. I now have, if I use a smaller deck, I could use bigger spreads, is what I'm saying.
I like decks of all sizes. Shapes are fine. I'm good with that. And I did say that correctly. I like decks.
I was gonna say
sizes.
You don't discriminate on size or color or texture or.
I don't. And part of what happens is when I acquire a deck, like going back to that, what's my current state? If I find something that's like really bright and colorful, it's going to come into my collection. It's going to fill a specific purpose. I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to value that.
Yeah.
And, for a reason or a season, that sort of thing comes into play. So I am similar to you, Bobby. The pocket decks or the tarot in a tin, great. You can spread a lot of cards out in a small amount of space.
Yeah.
Yes. Some decks do take getting used to.
They do, Roman.
Yes. And by the way, my name is Gerald. I will modify a deck. I will take a guillotine to it. I will sand it. I will mark all over it. So I'm
the
not.
first step is admitting it.
You'll soap it so it's not sticky anymore.
Yes.
Yes. I've never had the balls to do that. I'm always just scared I'm gonna mess something up.
Me too.
It's all right. I mean,
hi. Summer.
Okay, so now, how do you like to shuffle? Are you an overhand, a riffle, chaotic pile? Because your shuffle style says a lot about how you connect with your deck, I think.
I guess it depends what the card stock is like. So some of them you can do a bridge shuffle. Some of them you have to do overhand. And I'm okay with that. So it depends on what the deck, what type of material it is how I can, and then if I can't do any of that, I will fan them out and then just intuitively pick like that. So I don't discriminate on that either.
Yeah. And this, it can certainly, how you shuffle depends upon the size of your hands. So, because, look, Bobby's gone. So thinking about that is that is really important. Some people don't like the idea of riffle shuffling, it freaks them out. I like to riffle shuffle. I like to do the bridge.
Me
I
too.
like to overhand shuffle. I
too.
do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh.
but I asked this question because it's really important. It's how you shuffle is part of the ritual that you do, and you need to honor that as you are, matchmaking tarot. So, tarot and oracle for the soul does not riffle shuffle.
Oh, Sarah.
Chris from Elemental Cartomancy on his channel actually has done a video about how to riffle shuffle. It's actually a good one. So
Nice.
all right, are we ready to move on?
Bobby,
Did you have how do you like to shuffle? How do you like to shuffle?
I need thinner cards. That's why decks like the Darkwood Tarot that are slimmer, more flexible, are better for me. My power, I had a brownout, so I lost my internet, so I had to switch to my phone. If you're wondering what's
going
happening,
on?
yeah. Retrograde. I'm having the same problems as Ramón, and I'm on the other side of the country. What did that boy do to me?
I like how you think it's Ramon and not me.
It is Ramón's fault. No. As long as they're easy to shuffle, that's why I'm really becoming a fan of mini decks. Yeah, some decks, I like a lot of the Los Scarabeo decks. When I first get them, they're very, very hard for me to shuffle, depending on the card stock. I had to break the Santa Muerte Tarot in for 2 years before it got comfortable enough for me to use regularly. But yeah, if it's a good deck, I'll stick with it and try it. If it's a deck I'm iffy about, I'll just get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're moving into courtship rituals. You remember all of that, right? We're all in relationships.
Yeah.
We're all doing courtship rituals regularly, right?
I mean, you're supposed to, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
If you're in a relationship and you're not, start doing it. Are you into borders? Do you love a clean edge or prefer the immersive feel of borderless?
To me, it doesn't matter, I guess. If it does have a border and I'm not crazy about it, I'm not going to cut it down until I feel comfortable enough to cut it down. It has to make sense. But if everything else, and it's like 75% of the image I love and only 25% of it I don't, I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna like completely discard the deck because of the borders.
Right.
I will. No, not really.
Yes, and then you will regret it the week after you ship it off to someone else.
And then I don't want it back, and it's no takesies back.
That's happened several times in my life, and I ended up buying the deck again.
Selena and I are like, we're going, he said that earlier.
Preferably, I will find a deck that doesn't have borders. I can handle the borders. What I can't handle is the font. If a font is stupid, it will drive me up the wall, and I won't be able to use the deck. Like Stained Glass Tarot, I got the Craftarian version. I love the deck. It was cute as heck, but I couldn't use it because the font was so disjointed and messed up. Fabled says, yep, same here. Who just popped in?
Kaylee.
Moonfox Night 17.
Oh, and Moonfox, Kaylee, Moonfox.
Eternal Light
17.
came in.
Yeah.
Victor.
By the way, everybody, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to all of the channels. Links are below. You're awesome.
Definitely.
Yes, you are all awesome. I know there are so many channels you guys could be watching, and like Joe said, I am grateful to everybody who has been with us.
I am a person who I prefer borderless because I want the whole experience. That being said, there are some decks where the border actually makes it a better experience. It's like adding
Name one.
it is about having a border that actually stops and helps. Name one.
Here, now I could watch
Yeah.
the chat. I opened it up on my tablet.
How about
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
There you go, Bobby.
Yeah, even with like the bottom part with what it says, I think that totally goes very
There
well.
are some decks like that. Yes. See how the font is good though. If a font is screwed up, I'm not going to be able to mess with it. But some of those decks are good.
Yes.
The Healing Light Tarot, which we all know is one of my favorite decks. They published that without a border. But when Chris sent me my private deck that he created for me, he put, yes, I got a private deck, everybody. I work that in whenever I can.
Oh my gosh, you and
He
Ramon.
And Ramon, yeah.
That's all I keep
he
hearing about
put the-
Gerald, how private their deck is.
Oh, yeah, we're the two boy club. The deck he created for us has borders and it looks better, so it did enhance it. But
So
a lot of
do we call you a liar then, Bobby?
well, like I
Mentido
say,
soul.
he shortened the deck. He made it into a smaller size, first of all, and the cardstock is different. On this deck, I do like the borders, but on some decks, they just don't look right. They don't.
Yes.
Like the Druid Tarot. It not only is it huge,
Yeah, the
it
Druid
has
cap, yes.
a ginormous border
Yep.
to it. And I love the image, and I can't get myself to get rid of it because I love the
Yes.
image, but it's way too huge. The border makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't even pull an example of decks that bother me because
gonna
if they
go grab
bother
it.
me that much, I give them away. I put them on the giveaway table at Coven, or I give them to my friend Mama D to give away to her students.
Could you put up Timmy Raven's comment at 48 after? It's just slightly above. It's the one, framing art is a science. No, it's an art. No, it's a science. I hate deciding on framing for artwork, especially my own. That is a very valid point. How you frame something matters. And you can think about it in the sense of the Mona Lisa. I think it's the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is put into a frame that is actually older. It's an older frame. It's not a new frame. So it's very interesting. I have to say, one of the things. What do you have?
So that's the Druid Craft Tarot. Huge. Look at the size comparison.
That's too big for me. I wouldn't be able to shuffle that.
Way too huge. And the borders. I'm not fond of the borders.
Mm-hmm.
More than a handful is a waste.
Yeah, it's so huge. And this one's really, it's shiny. It's not big. I mean, I can't even shuffle it properly, but I love it. I love the images.
Yes.
But
Well,
I can't get rid of it.
you could get a guillotine and trim that.
Yeah, I could. I mean, look at these. Look at these images.
You could. It has a border on it, so you just cut on the outside border. Listen to me. I'm sorry. I'm enabling.
You're right.
I mean, I probably will so that I can actually use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, one of my favorite borders on a tarot deck is the Santa Muerte,
Mm-hmm.
where it's the top is not bordered, the bottom is. The bottom and the lower portion of the sides. And
Yeah.
you've all
Here. Turn around behind me.
Yeah.
This is one of those decks that's not really bordered. It's semi-bordered.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
But yeah. And that really works aesthetically.
Because the images are pretty busy.
Yes.
So I think that kind of just it kind of like, to me, it balances out all of the whole image that's on that card, because all of those are very detailed images on that deck.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, let's lead next into the courtship rituals. It's like,
Ooh.
what's your take on the naming of the majors? Stick with tradition or embrace bold reinterpretation? Because this is important. The names shape the story.
I have a hard time when they're not named normally, like what they should be, because and then I have to go back in my guidebook and figure out what it is that they are. And I hate that. I don't want to pull out my deck, like my guidebook.
Of course. Of course.
It doesn't really bother me. I learned a long time ago that decks are gonna screw with me. So that goes back to getting the artist's viewpoint or the deck creator's viewpoint on where they're coming from. But I don't know really how to respond to that.
I mean, also, I mean, I still have decks that have different words to them, and I'm, you know, they're not my favorite. I'll look up the guidebook and figure it out, but I'm not going to discriminate because their words aren't the same.
Yes.
I don't mind small changes like the hanged one or anything like that. And
or the hanged woman. There's like the one deck has hanged woman.
The hanged woman, that doesn't bother me. Things like that play with the gender, that's no problem. What bothers me is when they add you extra cards. A lot of decks do that. The Tarot Nuages has an extra card called the Town. The Ciro Marchetti decks, some of them have extra cards, Palaces. Some of that, sometimes they're good to have those extra cards, but sometimes they just bother me. Like the Ethereal Tarot, Ethereal. I don't like the extra cards in those.
Okay. Well, I'll mark that question off since Bobby is looking ahead on the sheet of paper he doesn't have.
I'm sorry.
I'm teasing you, Bobby. I think for me, the naming of the majors has to make sense to me. It has to make sense to me. I am currently working with a deck where the naming of the majors is
pianos are 88 keys.
It's something different.
So the El Santo Tarot has some of them, their majors are different. Like for strength, it's a different one. For lovers, it's a different one, but it makes sense.
Yes. Well, and in a case like that, I will get out my unnamed permanent marker and write on it. Because guess what? I own the deck. If that's the only thing preventing me from using the deck, I will make the adjustment.
So you know what I recently bought to actually go with that are like on Amazon, they're like sticker tarots, and they have like, you can like, it has the names on them, so you can put names and put it over it.
So here's something I want to do. My friend Angel turned me on to this. I hadn't even thought about it. He showed me these pens that are blacklight, that they're invisible. So he writes sigils on himself that nobody could see, but he shows a black light on him and he's like covered in sigils. I love it. So I was thinking about getting some of those pens to make notes on certain cards that I have. Yeah, then I'd be the only one that could ever see him. If I had a question, I could break out the black light.
Oh, that's pretty genius.
Do you walk around with a black light often?
I used to.
I mean, Selena has got one right there. Really? What? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, everybody. We're talking about tarot matchmaking and things on a dating profile. Selena is going to show up with a black light.
So I use it. I use it for my crystals. Some of my crystals, I want to see additional like stuff on them.
I understand.
That's why it sits on my altar, because I want to see the additional stuff on there with the black light. But that's it. Although, okay, this is probably going a little too far. I have 3 adult boys that I birthed. That's all.
Oh my God.
That is all I'm going to say. I'm a mom of 3 adult boys. That's all I'm going to say.
So here, let's move on to the next question then. We'll save you there. We're looking at courtship rituals. And again, tarot matchmaking, thinking about this as a dating profile, how do you feel about meeting the friends and family? Court cards can say a lot about how a deck shows up socially. Do you want a royal family, an artistic crew, quirky archetypes, or something non-traditional?
Oh,
I think as long as they follow the general energy of what the court cards are, I'm okay with that.
yeah. I'm good
If
with the quirky stuff too, though. I don't mind if it's a little quirky. Some of them, like my Sassy Dragons is quirky. That's fun.
Yes, it is.
You know,
This-
to me, so that's like my one like dirty deck, but it's fun and it's like fun in the dirty. And I like using that for readings.
dirty deck, dirty. This is the Page of Pentacles from the True Black. It's not your traditional thing. It goes off, but I really like it. So as long as they follow the general meaning, like Pages is young, I don't want to see an old page. Although there's nothing to say you can't have the energy of the page as an elder. But yeah, that's just the first thing.
Yeah.
Sip, sip, Bobby. Sip, sip.
Yeah, sip, sip, Bobby. I am a person who I like the family to look like they belong together. They can be quirky AF. They can be artistic, so long as they go together. And this is going to tell a story. I need them to be complete because I need the sentences to link together. I don't want to think that I'm reading Dostoevsky, Emily Bronte, and then Edgar Allan Poe in the same suit court cards. That's a little chaotic for me.
That's very chaotic for me. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, they have to have a general vibe.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so here you go. What's your ideal for a perfect date? First date. Cups equals coffee and feelings. Swords equals witty games. Pentacles equals creative projects. Wands equals dance floor vibes. What suit sets the scene for your ideal connection?
Cups all the way.
Mhm.
I'm hopeless romantic, so yeah.
Show me your moves. Give me the wands.
Okay.
You want to get down on the dance floor and
Let me
boogie?
show you what you can do. Show me. Show me.
Yes.
Show me what you got.
I am give me a creative project. I think that's a lot of fun because Selena, I'm going to tag on to what you said because you do have to sip during creative projects. So coffee and chat as you're thinking about it, it works.
Yeah. Totally.
So all right. So let's get visual. What kind of art style catches your eye on a dating app? Classic oil paintings, sleek minimalism, bold digital illustration, collage chaos. The visuals shape your whole experience.
I'm going to go with the oil painting. I like a traditional. I mean, we're getting storms, so that's probably. Nope, that's fireworks. We have fireworks, so my dog's probably going to flip out here soon. No, but I like the classic. I can't do too collagey. It's too. I already have ADHD. I already have a hard time narrowing down what the heck is going on a card. I do have a collage deck, but it's from Lennon Smith, and it's a Eve and Lilith deck. And hers is not overly collagey. Like there's still there's enough black in it where it's okay.
So I don't have my Healing Light Tarot in here. I was using it last night, so it's in my room. It is collagey. However,
Chris Butler does this silhouette style where his
Mhm.
characters are very. You see a black figure in the midst of the chaos. I speak to that. I told you, calling images from the void. My favorite decks are like the True Black and Dancing in the Dark. Something that's pared down and minimalist. I like that style. I don't like a lot of, if it's overstimulation for my eyeballs, there's going to be too much for me to try to draw from. So I started doing pip decks again. So
that's a really important point that you've brought up there, Bobby. The idea of is if it's too much for you to look at, you're not going to use the deck. If someone is too chaotic, you're not going to enjoy spending time with them beyond the initial blush of getting to know someone.
right.
So
Yeah.
there are decks that I have that are very, very packed full of information and imagery. I use those for a specific type of reading.
Mhm.
And trust me, as someone else who shares the superpower that all of the people on the screen has, I need my surface to be clean so that all I can see is those cards and I'm not distracted by anything else.
That's why I like the pared down, especially if it's black. That is why it got to be black. I love those images that are unconvoluted. If
Mhm.
they're like, I have to be with a certain type of client with a certain type of question for me to use a deck like an MJ deck that is more
Yeah.
collage.
Correct. Hers is very collagey, but
Yeah.
the artistic
Oh, look,
the
they did that.
yeah, the art that she uses in that is not overly detailed, I feel, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I still keep at the Crow Tarot. Is it the Crow Tarot?
Yeah.
Right next to me.
Correct. But she had,
that.
but there's still a lot of blank space in between
Yes.
the images where it's not like overwhelming to read.
See,
Mhm.
that's back to a matter of opinion. For
Mhm.
something that would be not over for me or you might be way over or not nearly enough for other people.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's what makes it great that there are so many different decks out there
You
for
got it.
all kinds of people who read differently, or or someone that needs the keywords in the bottom, like it doesn't matter. I think
Yep.
there's hundreds and there's thousands of decks out there. I don't even know how many decks there are. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
thousands.
Million.
Well, and Timmy brings up a great point. Always, our artwork is always subjective. I'm always shocked when, as an older person, I experience art that I used to love and now find it uncomfortable or trivial. It's okay for you, as you are doing your own tarot matchmaking in your collection.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for you to go, wow, I am not there anymore.
Yeah.
I am over here. It does not devalue what you enjoyed before at all. It shows that you are different. And by the way, if you're Bobby, get rid of it. If you're Gerald, hold on to it because you're going to circle back and you're going to need
6
it.
months later, a year later, you'll pick it up
Well,
again.
here's
and
the
it's gonna
thing.
be-
I
it's
have
gonna be what
problems
you
with
need
my
at that
memory.
moment. So that's why I have a hard time getting rid of decks.
Yes.
I have problems with my memory, a medical problem from my brain surgery. Plus, I do smoke an awful lot of weed, you guys. So my memory is not awesome. That's why I study my tarot nonstop. I don't want to lose it. I don't have time to study decks that don't make sense to me or keep decks that I'm not going to use. If it's out of my sight for more than a week, I'll forget I ever had it in the first place. So,
Bobby, I completely understand. I was teasing you, so I will hold that space a little differently. Sorry. So, So here's Bobby preempted this a little bit, but let's talk about extra cards in the deck. Love them or leave them. Do bonus cards feel like gifts or clutter? And it's okay to be picky.
So I'm okay with the extra ones. For example, I'm going to go back to the El Santo Tarot. That one has 100 cards.
Love it.
But it has astrology, and it also has Ophiuchus in it, so it's not one normally in astrology.
Yeah.
It has extra triumph cards in it.
Yeah.
I think it's fabulous. Like, I like pairing Oracle with Tarot, but that deck I don't pair with anything because it has extra stuff in it where I don't have to find another deck that's going to match it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with the extra ones. Like, some of them have, what is it, like 80 cards instead, and they'll have like the extra cards in them, and I'm like,
I'll tell you one of the
energy,
reasons.
like a different, like a power up card. I feel like it's what they are, and I'm okay with that too.
I can tell you why I stopped using decks with extra cards on them, unless it's specifically a Ciro Marchetti deck and they're asking about location. Then I'll break out one of those decks that has the palace cards. A lot of the people I read for consider themselves tarot literate. So if I have a deck with extra cards, they're going to want to dig into it. They have. And that's why I stopped using a deck, because I had to stop the reading and explain the ethereal.
Sure.
Has it, and I didn't like that. I didn't like having to break the stride of what I was saying to educate about the deck. So for me, that's why I don't like the extra cards, but they do come in handy, like the Ciro Marchetti decks. Mystic Palette, I think it is, has beautiful extra cards. The True Black Tarot even has an extra card called Anant. And it's cycles. It's basically a fetus being with the umbilical cord going all the way around it. So on some decks, I use them in spite of the extra cards, like the True Black, not because of the extra cards.
So Sassy Dragons has an extra one, and it's called F Off.
Yes.
Really?
And I love it.
Yes. It depends upon if it can feel like clutter if it doesn't flow well with what is there. I'm okay with different versions of the Empress, the Kings, the Tarot of Mystical Moments has masculine and feminine Emperor and masculine and feminine Kings in the deck. I'm okay with that. I actually leave all of those in my deck because when they show up, it gives me more information.
Yeah.
So for me, I am surrounded by lots of things. Do y'all know salon style art displays where you have floor to ceiling paintings?
Yes.
I am all about the salon style. So, okay, do we have time for 3 more? Because these are the final spark.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Go for it.
Final
I like to hear
spark.
about the final
Yeah, we
spark.
don't have Ramon here. No, just kidding. Poor Ramon. I
know,
feel
poor
so bad
Ramon.
that he couldn't make it. And I got so excited to see him back again,
Me
too.
too. We've
Yes.
missed him, you guys. We've
You don't understand
like
how
every
much.
time he was gone, we would say we miss Ramon. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was stuck with me.
So
that's not what I mean.
the final spark.
The
If your
final spark.
ideal deck walked into the room, how would you know? Describe the vibe and what's the moment of knowing for you?
This is gonna sound wrong, but if it's nice and thick and black, I'm all about it. The True Black deck, the Dancing in the Dark deck. It's got to feel smooth like butter in my fingers. I have a friend who looks at the celestial bodies, the star, the moon, and the sun. If he doesn't like those, he can't bond with the card. For me, it's the magician. If I don't like the magician card,
Yes.
I'm going to have a problem with it because I view the magician as Hermes energy. So if it doesn't live up to my expectations, it's gone.
I think it's
That's
really important, Bobby, to understand that you have a distinct preference and you
yes.
have to honor it, because it's a beautiful deck that does not match your vibe, so it's not coming home with you. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with it. And that's where, if you're figuring out, if you're doing a dating profile and you're doing tarot matchmaking, you do have to understand what you prefer and what
Yeah.
you don't like.
I think above all else, I have to connect with it.
Mhm.
The Santa Muerte deck, when I look at it, it reminds me of my family. I see family gatherings in this deck, so I know exactly what each card means. I know who's speaking to me when I get certain cards. This deck means so much to me. That's why I ordered it in mini, so I could carry it with me all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Selena, what about you? What's your ideal, if your ideal deck walked into the room, how would you know?
It's just an automatic knowing. It's for me, it's just an intuitive. If it's calls to me, if someone shows me one card and I love that one card, guess what? I'm probably going to buy the whole darn deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but it has to call me. There's that, because I read mainly intuitively, but I do also take into account what the cards mean.
Sure.
So it
Mhm.
has to call me. It has to really just say, Selena, you need to buy me. And I don't purchase responsibly, Gerald.
Neither do I.
I knew you were gonna pull that up. I'm an irresponsible buyer.
I'm not going to do it because
Selena, I blame her for a lot of my decks. I really do. I
Listen,
watch her unboxings, or she'll
Y'all-
send me pictures saying, "Bobby, look
my
at this.
counter right now
How do you think I
has-
got this Dark Goddess deck right
No,
here?"
because
Yeah, did you?
but like my husband just bought me 7 decks, 7 new decks from my Amazon wish list. So
Very
I'm like,
nice.
great. Now I have like 7 more that I have to look at. But then I also have, I have US Games sending me decks, and then
And
stuff I
time
just buy
you need to
myself.
pass those along.
Oh, I will, Bobby. You're the first one in line. But and then I'm irresponsible, super irresponsible.
We both are. We should be telling each other.
But I
And
work
you know
so
what?
hard.
There
And
is
my
no
husband-
judgment.
And my husband's like, Selena, if you like it, go ahead and buy it. And I'm like, honey, you're supposed to be telling me the opposite, but he doesn't, because he just
Here's
bought
the
me 7 more decks.
I used to work at a local shop, actually both local shops, and I would buy decks, 2 or 3 decks every week. And my husband finally had to tell me, "Why do you need so many decks?" And I said, "Because they have different energies." And he says, "The energy is hanging all over your walls." So I did have to start purchasing responsibly.
I lie. He bought me 8 decks.
Ah,
Greenwich
How
Tarot,
dare
or
you.
Greenwich Oracle,
That's what I want.
Feminine Oracle Wisdom, Woodlands Warden, Vision
That's an
Quest.
MJ deck, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Who is it?
Jessica Rue. Jessica Rue. But it looks like it. And then he got me Vision Quest. And then he got me Sacred Feminine. Seeds of the Sacred Feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got me Magical Spirit Oracle and the Morgan.
Ah, you lucky ducky.
I'm like, honey, I have nowhere to put these things. So now I have to get rid of more decks.
Yeah, you do, in the mailbox.
So then I have to get rid of them to be able to have space on my 2 bookshelves.
Thankfully, I'm poor, or else I'd be in major trouble.
Oh, I'm horrible.
I think, Selena, I am very similar to you. There is oftentimes a vibe for me where I think about this because this is my experience with my husband. I first saw him and I went, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Caught my attention. And then when you get to sit with them and you get to know them, there's this amazing weaving that goes on with the energy. And it's like a dimmer switch. It's like when you turn it on, you turn the light on and it's full blast, it's like, whoa, okay. And then you dim it down, everything just gets clearer and much more powerful. So I'm all about that. So
Yeah.
okay, two more.
Two more.
What's something you didn't know you cared about in a deck until you encountered it?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we learn our preferences by surprise.
The box. For me, it's the box. If it doesn't have the thumb hole cut out in it, I've broken so many nails because of that. Like badly broken my thumbnails. And if that box is ridiculously ginormous for really small decks inside and the guidebook is also small, I'm annoyed as heck and then I have to buy a bag.
Hey, Prairie, how you doing, love? We're talking about decks.
So yeah, but
I
to
didn't
me,
mean
it's the box. It's
The
packaging.
box.
If it's not a good box, like for example, Rockpool's boxes were horrendous at first, but now they're starting to do them where they just flip open.
Yes.
And I'm like, so if it's magnetic or flips open, I love it. If it has the thumbnail in it, I realize that now I have to like kind of pull them aside a little bit, like stretch them so that the box can actually open up. If not, I struggle and then I break nails and then I'm even more pissed off. So
yeah.
Okay.
But that's my
question.
Sure, but you have to sip first, Bobby.
Yeah, you haven't been sipping.
Because I sipped it all away. I've been sipping the whole time.
We'll wait.
We're watching you, and I don't see you sip enough, but Bobby.
What's something you didn't know you cared about in a deck until you encountered it?
Kabbalistic associations. If they have the Kabbalah letters on them, the Hebrew alphabet, it's a bonus, and I'm getting the deck. Thoth Tarot has it. Heaven and Earth Tarot has it. These decks that can be used as Thoth decks are something I've really come to appreciate and love.
Okay. Maru said faces on people.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, Maru. I used to use a deck before I got the True Black one. I can't remember what it's called. It's one of the Amazon Crafterian decks. It looks like a True Black knockoff, but the figures don't have faces. It's just white. And I loved that deck, and I used it for a long time until I got the True Black deck.
Yeah. I think for me, and I have embedded this into some of my friends, the court cards have to look like they belong together. For me, when I'm looking at the court cards, it's child, parent, parent. There needs to be some sort of an association. Do they need to look alike? No. Do they need to look like they come from the same family line? Yes. So
I like cards with no faces on them. Look, so this is the Earthwoman Tarot by Taryn Ellis. I also made my own. So I keep my ancestors and my guides and everybody that I make.
Yep.
That's also, I made that. So I like them with no faces.
Nice. Okay.
So what I'm hearing are blindfolds. You like to wear blindfolds.
No, because when I'm looking at the card, I like to put my own face on that. And
It's the dehydration talking, Selena.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm teasing you, Bobby.
no, I'm running over the question in my head.
What's something you did? Well, you already said.
I did, but you
Kabbalistic.
sparked. Oh, that's why I wrote it down. Some decks have the air and fire switched in the court cards. I have an issue with that. Normally, kings in the Western system are air of air, but in Thoth and other systems, it's fire of air. So, what is your guys' opinion on those?
Yeah, no, that's a hard no for me.
You
It has
switching?
to match. Yeah, I can't do the switch part.
You can't do the switch part.
No.
I mean, I don't really particularly pay attention to that myself. So
I would say because some of them do have, like the kings will have flames on them on certain decks. I couldn't name one right now. Save myself. Lost Souls is the deck I was talking about. Thank you, Roman. That is the one without the faces. Great deck.
okay,
But yeah, that was my question to you guys about the flippy.
okay. So what's the? Here's
This
the
one.
last.
Yeah, Lost Souls.
Yeah, he's the one that influenced me on buying it.
And there are cards. There are some decks that associate wands with air and swords with fire.
Yeah.
So
This is a beautiful deck, and yeah.
Yeah, well, the reason for that, and I'll tell everybody why that is in case you don't know. Normal Rider-Waite Smith type tarot, it starts from air with the kings, queens are water, knights are fire, and pages are earth. But in Kabbalistic terms, we're talking about the four worlds of creation, which starts off with the fires of creation, and then water, and then fire. And then air, and then earth. So that's why it's Kabbalistic approach. In case, sorry.
So our last question for tonight. What's one deck you'll always remember, even if it wasn't the right one for you? Not all relationships last, but they can still leave an impression.
Nothing. If you're out of my life, I forget you.
Damn, Bobby. Yeah.
True story.
That works, though.
No, I don't think. No, I think there isn't a deck that I would have gotten.
Yeah, Timmy, the Tree of Life Association.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't think I can answer that one, Gerald. I don't see
Maybe
one.
the
Yeah.
Tarot Familiars. That one has come and gone in my life a few times. It rides the line of too cute and stupid. So
there's a deck that I'll always keep, and even though I don't use it all the time, or I've outgrown it, I love it for the fact that when I had that deck, it just clicked, like tarot clicked for me.
I love that.
That's the Everyday Witch Tarot.
Mm-hmm.
And now when the guidebook is phenomenal, like once I had that deck and then I had the guidebook, and I'm like, oh, I totally get tarot now. Like the images are different enough, but yet they're very clear on what they're showing, and my intuition goes crazy with it. So yeah.
there are some decks I have that I will hold on to, like Oracle decks. The Great Goddess Oracle deck, I don't use it, but it's so beautiful. I'm not going to get rid of it. But that's one of the only decks I have just to have. That and the Geierhorn deck. I have trouble saying that. But the Runic deck, I love that one.
Maru said the Cosmic Tribe Tarot, real naked people. She gave it away. I love that deck. It's a great deck for me. I love it. I think for me, a deck that I will always remember, even if it wasn't right for me, it's the Handle Tarot.
Oh, I still use that.
I love it.
Mhm.
I like it. I have the guidebooks. I've read them. I just can't read with it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in my working decks, but it used to be. So
Mhm.
something else bumped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I have two racks that hold 24 cards in them, and as I get new decks, that's the test. Am I going to replace one of the decks in my
Mhm.
decks?
How do you
And
decide if you're going to replace a deck?
if I do spreads
That should
and
be
I
a good
can
question.
hear,
Gerald. How do you
if I
know
could
if
hear
it's
my
gonna
ancestors work
replace
through
or not?
those decks, yeah, if I could hear my ancestors work through the deck, it's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, well, everybody, that's hashtag tarot matchmaking. I'm probably going to put up a video on my channel just of these prompts. So if people would like to do that,
Like a
you-
VR?
yes, you can do a
Yes.
VR to it. So tarot matchmaking, it's a long one. It's overall, I have 18 questions. There's 18 questions that were created with this.
You
That's
definitely
awesome. I
video.
love that. I'd love to do that VR and like go through it again and actually show the cards, you know?
Yep, that's part of the wonder. And it was they did not know what they were getting. Everybody give a thumbs up. They did beautifully.
Yeah,
this
we
evening.
knew nothing.
I was so glad Gerald can come on and join us. I just feel bad Ramon wasn't able to be a part of it tonight. Next week we're gonna have to hear all about his trip to Mexico to meet Doña
Yes,
Qeta,
that'll be wonderful.
the woman credited for the research of Santa Muerte.
With Cressida and his trip to Teotihuacan,
Yeah,
the pyramids.
we're excited to hear about that. But for now, everybody, if unless you have questions for Gerald, let's open up the stage. Do you guys have questions on decks for any of us, or a comment that you would like to share with us? Let us know now.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
gonna be ending.
Oh, my husband's here
Aw.
under my name, Selena.
I was gonna say, hey,
Hey, honey.
hi, David. How you doing?
It's at work.
Oh, God, I have to go work in the evening. Sucks. Poor guy.
Yeah, that's changing though. Hallelujah, because it's been rough not having
Good.
him home. Yeah.
Good. I'm not seeing. Oh, here we are. When you cut the edges off a deck, do you sand it after?
No,
That's a good question.
I don't. I use a guillotine, so it gives a very smooth cut, and it's a good guillotine. So
There's also
makes the
corner
cut.
cutters, you guys. So if you're going to guillotine your decks, you could always take a little corner cutter to it and take the corners
Yep.
off.
So how do you do? Is there like a specific device y'all use for that, or do you just buy that on Amazon, or how do y'all get a
I think it's
guillotine?
Gerald likes the
sharp.
guillotine. I like the slider.
The slider doesn't cut clearly enough for me.
Yeah,
But I think it's a sharp line paper cutter.
the old school, like we used to have in
Oh
grade
yeah,
school.
yeah. I have one of those. So
Yeah.
that's what y'all use.
That's what you use for,
What
yeah.
I use for trimming.
What about when y'all have to do the curves and the edges on that?
That's
Well,
the corner rounder Bobby was talking
corner
about.
rounder.
Oh,
Stick the corners in and hit the punch button, and it'll cut the corners off for you. You just have to do it 4 times for each corner. That's why Joey did that for these cards for me, and they have a nice round edge now.
yeah, nice. I'll think about it.
Yeah, I'm not brave enough to try to cut the corners or edges off of a deck that I really like. I had to get Joey to do this one for me because I have tremors, you guys.
I was
So
gonna say you're shaky, so there's no way you can do
Yeah.
that without
Well,
hurting
and
yourself or the deck.
right.
it is one of those things that you have to decide if some sort of modification to the deck works for you. I've purchased decks specifically to punch circles out of them.
We love it.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So I've done that. I've also bought a second copy of a mass market deck so that I could trim it down. And also part of it is sometimes a deck doesn't come with edging, and I will use a Sharpie to be able to edge it. So
I did buy Sharpies for that reason, but I've yet to do that.
Yeah.
I'm still like afraid of it bleeding through, harming the image. Like I'm such a chicken with that, and that these things cost money, and I don't.
Yeah, they do.
I don't want to ruin the deck. And what if
I'll
I
be
don't like it
back.
anymore for some odd reason, and I get rid of it? But then I'm going to feel bad giving someone a deck that I wrote on.
Well, but if you write on it now, will you use it more?
Could be.
Yeah. I also think when I modify a deck, it is part of me getting to connect with the deck. It's our conversation.
Yeah.
So
True. And then you you build that relationship with them because
Yes.
you did edge them, because you did cut them down and trim them. Oh,
Sorry, hold on. Okay. Son of a... My phone is going to die.
Maru said photo signature pens are the best for writing on cards.
oh, thank you, Maru. So better than doing Sharpies?
Okay.
Photo signature pens are the best. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Maru. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My phone was going to die. I had to switch. Ah. Okay.
I'm telling you, this like retrograde and electronics has been horrible. I had issues with electronics last night. And normally it doesn't bother me retrogrades, but this one I think is really like, I mean, I was born during Mercury retrograde, so Mercury retrograde doesn't really bother me, but
all Mercury retrograde is a chance for you to get your shit together so you could slingshot into the new phase. Yeah,
doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
At least that's what I tell myself. Yeah.
Thank you
You wanna
very
be-
much for having me on Behind the Moon tonight. Thank you.
Gerald, thank you for joining us. What do you have coming up, my friend?
Tomorrow I am doing a deck casual with this deck, and the creator Aquata du Jour is joining Richie and me. This is posted as a mature audiences only. You have to prove that you were over 18 in order to get it. We will be carding people in the chat to make sure it's not everybody's deck, and that's fine. And then I've got great shows coming up on Monday. Linda De Gonzalez and Diana Bowles. We're talking about brainstorming.
Ooh.
And
I
then
love Diana. She's really good too.
Yes. And then on Tuesday, Linda De Gonzalez and I are talking about suggestions for tips for creating a YouTube channel.
Nice. And then you and
Talk
I
to
have
Selena.
coming up on
Yep.
the 12th, right?
It is, I believe it is the 12th. Selena and I are on the 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday the 12th for Casual, where you all get to know more about Selena, because it's just going to be the two of us on the screen, and I'm going to stare at the screen until she tells us all the cute, dark secrets.
All the gory details.
So,
Brace yourself, guys. Brace yourselves.
yes.
What do you have coming up, sweetie? Selena.
So we have our one tomorrow with Ramón. The Santa Muerte one. I have Sherry Saturday night. We're going to be doing the slumber party. So her and I are going to be doing a live together at like 11 p.m. at night on Saturday. with like dirty decks and stuff like that. Or if they
Dirty-
want a regular
dirty.
non-dirty one, we'll do that.
What's the fun in
I
that?
have a channelversary that I was going to be doing on Saturday, but I don't think I can. Yes, listen,
Selena made me do it.
I did. So and then I do have a channelversary that I was going to be doing a live Q&A on Saturday, but I'm going to be postponing that to probably the middle of next week. I don't think I can do 2 shows on one day. I've been a little bit under the weather with my lupus, so I need to really be careful with my energy.
I hear you.
So I'm gonna
And that's
postpone
why I
that.
don't have nearly as many shows as I normally have scheduled. If you look on my channel, there's not much scheduled coming up. I actually don't have anything planned until the 18th when I'm on with Allie, and we're going to be talking about the hero's journey and how it relates to tarot. I'll be doing a lot of pop-ups coming up, you guys. And just I've been having a desire to go live in the middle of the night a lot of the time lately. So I'm an insomniac. So I'm going to be doing a lot of those over the next couple weeks. But I'm open. I purposely have kept my schedule a little scant because I overdid it last month and the month before. I got so focused on hitting my 500 subscribers that I was just, trying to kill myself, and my health is starting to suffer for it. So I'm pulling back a little bit, not too much. I still love what I do, but yeah. And if I overdo it, I'm no use to my clients, and that they take precedence over everything. As fun as YouTube is, yeah. But that's what I have coming up. So everybody, make sure you subscribe to all 3 of our channels. Links are in the description.
Ramón, 4. He's
See, I forgot about my brother.
Shame on you.
Right? Don't tell him I said that to anybody.
Sure
it'll be our little secret. Now I'm panicked. His little symbol's gonna pop up. Why'd you have to say that?
Like, what'd you say, Bobby?
Right? Yeah, I love you guys, but I gotta go eat. Bye.